Alright, trivia has begun. Welcome everyone to King's Quest 2, Romancing the Stones. Anybody in chat played this game before? It's probably my second favorite King's Quest game. Everyone I know either only played 5 and 6 or only played 6. I don't know. I mean, I would say I know a fair amount of people that played all the King's Quest games, but I find it's much more common that I only run into people that played 5 or 6 or both. This one, so the original King's Quest game, is this related to Digimon? No, Amy. This is the King's Quest game. The first game is about Graham becoming king. He has to go search for, like, some items to become king. It's like an hour long. It's really short. You don't remember which ones you played? This is the second game. We'll find out what it's about here in a minute when I hit introduction. But this is the AGD version, sometimes called the homebrew version, sometimes called the VGA version. If you look it up on YouTube for like a Let's Play or Long Play or something, chances are they call it the homebrew version. Yes, Nico stands for Nicole. Anyway, so let's go. Introduction. AGDI, that's who it is. It's like Adventure Games, Digital Interactive, I think. Something like that. I don't know. Classic adventure. Retold for the very first time. Ever. They remade the third game as well. They might have remade the first, second, and third games. As far as I'm aware, there's no remakes or anything of the fourth game, which is unfortunate. The third game I will probably never play on stream, because I really don't like the third game. Its design is unique and interesting, but not to my liking in any way, shape, or form. Is that Cyan? Yes. Also, before anyone asks, did I stretch the screen to 16 by 9? No, this is just how it displays.
King Graham?
Oh, yes, Minister,
Gervain, sire.
Of course. My apologies, Gervain.
Not necessary, your majesty. After all, I've been your security and defense minister for but a short while.
Yes. Where did you say you were from again?
Just some small, insignificant land to the far south. Pales greatly in comparison to your realm, my lord.
Ah, do you have something to report?
It's probably King's Quest 6.
As a matter of fact,
at Seawalker.
There's a small concern regarding the duty shifts of some of the castle guards and of the countryside patrols. Also, we are expecting our armed entourage from our nearest neighbor to return within the week. And there is the matter of an alliance with... my liege?
My apologies again, Minister Gervain. Please, continue.
Yes. As I was saying, there is the matter
Straw
of
mustache on
Usperia.
in your imagination.
They've become a strong nation now, and it may be prudent to show our willingness to support them, lest they decide we are more of a hindrance than a help.
Does the king there have any daughters who've come of age?
He also looks like he's got, like, a beard.
I do not believe so, sire. As for the security arrangements for the royal ball held last week, I do believe the evening went by very smoothly. I dare say just about every princess in this region attended, and not one lost slipper, to coin a phrase.
Ugh, please, do not remind me.
Indeed, they were none too fetching. Would you like me to go over your plans for today, my lord? Very well.
Oh, forgive me once again. I am afraid that my mind wanders much these days. I wonder if my predecessor experienced times like these.
No
Let me know how the
doubt.
volume is,
Though
by
I
the
did
way.
not know King Edward the Benevolent personally, I understand he was a happy and astute man during his married life, before his wife passed away, that is. If I may be so bold, perhaps my lord is feeling that certain rooms in his castle are somewhat sparsely filled. The throne room, for example, and other rooms that serve but a single soul, like your dining room and your bed chambers.
Ooh. Ooh.
Perhaps, but I do fear I've met no such candidates that would fill the rooms you have mentioned.
You should not lose heart, your majesty. If you pause to reflect for but a moment, you may see clearly what is hidden to others.
So that mirror in the background was found in the first game. It was one of the 3 treasures you had to find. Y'all may know it from King's Quest 6. Reveals that which your heart desires or something. Is this a dating sim? Yes.
You gaze into the mirror. The minister's words seem to echo in your head, if you pause to reflect for but a moment. Not that you've been doing much else lately. For many weeks now, you've been reflecting over the direction your life has taken. While Daventry has prospered under your wise leadership, so far your existence has been a dreadfully lonely one. Wait, the mirror is changing. As you watch, you begin to see a series of images, though you struggle to fathom their meaning. You recognize the landscape. It is Kalima, a land not far from Daventry.
Yo, look at these sweet graphics. High production value. Whole games are 3D like this, like Pokemon Sword and Shield. the 2D girl and the... Is that Fiona from Shrek? She's
You
beautiful.
see the most beautiful woman you have ever set eyes upon. Somehow you can feel her sadness and her intense desire to leave that place. She is a prisoner in that tower.
Did you find what you were looking for, sire?
I require my ship ready for transport, Gervain. I shall be going on a trip presently.
Indeed. Where shall I tell the captain you'll be heading?
To Kalima. I have to find someone.
I see. Well, if you must go, it is my duty to ensure that you leave prepared.
She was,
Arm
Claude.
yourself,
She
sire.
was.
I hear Kalima is not the safe haven it once was.
Of course. I shall take the sword of the first king, as is my right.
A wise precaution, sire. And, if I may be so brash to ask, who might you be seeking?
If all goes well, my bride.
I mean, I like Graham's VA, but yeah, it does sound like he's in, like, a big open room. But I mean, this was recorded in, like, early 90s, so... Can't ask for too much, I guess. Dang, Amy, I'm the exact opposite.
Father,
I love straight medieval fantasy.
how may I be of service?
An opportunity has arisen, sister. I trust you still have your captive held securely away.
Of course.
A bit cruel, keeping her locked away like that. Do you not think?
No. How dare she flaunt her beauty in front of all to see? Her foolish male admirers see her and forget that I was the most beautiful of all in my day.
And in your own special way, you are still beautiful.
You devil!
That is not an unfair description.
Now, you mentioned a service, I believe.
Yes. The King of Daventry has advised his faithful minister that he shall be departing for Colima presently. On a quest, you might say.
Really?
Rude, Amy,
What
rude.
kind?
The kind that involves sticking his neck out to rescue a damsel in distress.
And what have I to do with his neck?
Put simply, my dear, sever it.
Alright, so that was the introduction. Welcome to King's Quest 2, Romancing the Stens. I hope you all enjoy this game. Like I said, I've never actually played this game. I've only ever watched it. I watch long plays of this all the time. So this will be my first time actually, like, being in control. Hopefully we don't get stuck or having anything else going on. Shouldn't we be romancing the ladies? It'll make more sense later on, Fataman. Anyways, here we go.
A day's journeying from Daventry has found you by the shores of Colima. Your ship, the Grand Thithor, and its crew have deposited you and will return the day after tomorrow. Hopefully, this will give you enough time to locate and release the imprisoned woman you saw in the magic mirror.
So we got like 2 days. Let me fix this. Trivia. I was in the menu, may as well. Alright, so escape to skip walk. Lets me do this.
You're too busy swimming.
Too busy swimming.
You untangle the net from the pylon and take it with you.
It's too much work for me to reach over and hit escape every time. But this game is capable of doing that, in case anybody's curious. Yes, this will be a guided playthrough. However, the guide that I'm using is a little sketch, so I'm not actually sure how well this is going to work out.
The fallen picket feels reasonably sturdy and is pointed at one end. Believing that you may find a use for it, you retrieve it and carry it with you.
Also, because of my setup, it's a little bit difficult. No, GameFAQs doesn't have this version on there. Because of my setup, it is a little difficult for me to actually see chat. So, if I miss anything anybody says, behave yourself. Give this game 95 minutes to impress you. Alright. Like I said, I've watched a lot of long plays of this, so I at least kind of know what I'm looking for, or kind of know what I'm doing, sort of. I'm still gonna use a guide.
Hello, who are you?
My name is Graham. What is yours?
Possum. That is what my grandma calls me. She is not at all well these days. I was collecting flowers for her, but now I cannot anymore.
Why is that?
My basket is missing. I've looked everywhere for it. It must be around here somewhere.
I will keep my eye out for it.
Thank you, Graham.
I was wondering, could you tell me anything about this land?
I won't be clicking on literally everything, but I'll try my best. Click on a lot of things.
A church not far south of that. Grandma and I live in a house near the beach. You should not enter the swamp to the north. It is said to be influenced by magic. Many have easily lost their way in there, and finding your way out again is difficult.
Thank you, Possum.
Before I forget, or at least while I'm thinking about it, if you don't like any of the VA, you are more than welcome to leave. There's a reason a lot of these characters sound the way they are, and if you don't like it, that's too bad. Go find somewhere else. Go harass someone else.
Excuse me, Possum?
Yes, Graham.
Is there any way at all through this swamp?
I do not know, but I did see someone walking out of there not long ago. He was writing something in a book as he walked.
Who was that?
A monk from the church.
You mentioned that your grandma is not well. What ails her?
I'm not sure, but I think it gives her sad dreams. While she sleeps, sometimes she talks out loud. Sometimes I listen to her. No, do not leave me, she says. At first, I thought she was speaking to me. I would go over to her, but she would not notice me. Then I realized it was a dream.
I like seeing Demon Smalls just barely miss getting the
She talks
answer.
to in her sleep.
So close every time.
And then there's the scary dreams.
The scary dreams? Tell me more.
Excuse me, Possum?
Yes, Graham.
You mentioned that your grandma had scary dreams. What are these dreams about?
Bats.
Bats?
That's Maru?
Yes, in her sleep, she screams with fright, as if a bat is chasing her, or she's being hurt by one. Then she'll say something like, "Blue light is the bat's true bane," over and over.
Blue light? What does she mean?
I have asked her this, but she just shakes her head and will not speak of it.
Thank you, Possum. I wish your grandma a swift recovery.
Thank you, Graham. I will speak of you to her.
You have nothing more to say to Possum.
Alright, so her basket is randomly hidden somewhere, just completely at random. If I don't notice it, please somebody speak up.
The beautiful blue lake has a clear and pristine quality. The beautiful... It is a baby bird, and not... You walk into position and try to catch the baby bird. You throw the net over the pond, and the baby bird is caught unharmed.
That baby bird.
The lemons on the ground are spoiled. You would do best to pick a fresh one from the nearby tree. You reach out and pluck a large, juicy-looking lemon from the tree.
Also, another thing about this game, there are two enemies that just randomly show up that can kill you. They just show up at random. You have to run away as quickly as possible.
There is a sizable hole in one of the trees. When you peer into the hole of the pine tree, you see a mallet lying there. You pick it up and take it with you.
Hey!
What? Who said that?
I did.
Huh?
I'm down here, in the hay.
Oh.
Definitely from King's Quest
Who are
V.
you?
My name is,
Yes?
I can't seem to remember.
Well then, what are you?
Oh, I'm
Yes?
can't seem to remember that either.
Well, what are you doing in this haystack?
That's easy. I was looking for,
You can't remember.
no. Sorry.
How long have you been in there?
Let's see. It couldn't be longer than,
Yes?
3, maybe 4 weeks.
Weeks?
Yep.
Pardon me for saying, but you sound as if you have a bit of a cold.
Yes. It's all this hay. It's giving me hay fever.
I know that feeling. Turn this down, this up.
Maybe you should do something to help the occupant first. After all, you don't want to get sneezed on while searching the haystack. You see a man bending over the fountain. He appears to be trying to retrieve something from it.
Aha! Got him.
Aha! No, Amy, I've never been that way my whole life. I have a very bad immune system.
May I help you?
Yes, I was hoping to enrich my knowledge of this fair land by way of perusing your historical texts.
My, that was well put.
My.
No.
What?
Not terribly effective, though.
Pardon me, perhaps I was not clear?
You were.
Then may I?
No.
What do you
Why
mean, no?
can't I?
You are not a member.
Well then, can I become a member?
No.
What?
Why can I not become a member?
We already have far too many members. It's difficult to keep track of everything.
How many members are there?
2.
If I may inquire, who are your 2 members?
You may not. Neither the Count of Kalima nor the elderly gentleman who lives next door would approve of my divulging that information to you.
Ah, thank you anyway.
I see.
There appears to be a sign on the door, but you need to get... The door is plain and has a mail slot. It also has a sign posted on it. You read it.
Family deceased wishes to thank all who have expressed their condolences over the passing of their loved one. Frederick enjoyed life and literature and had ever-present sense of humor. May his soul be at peace in the realm of the dead, and may its lords judge him worthy of eternal happiness.
You also notice something sticking out from under the door.
You aren't going... I can't read the library books. It won't let me. In fact, we'll go try.
You would not know where to start. Perhaps the librarian could be of help here. You glance at the titles on this shelf. Chronicles of the Brady Bunch. Interesting, this book has a warning label. Prolonged exposure may cause irreparable damage to your perception of reality.
Out. Anyways, the librarian's mad. You thought I should use the fence picket on the door. You were correct.
You might not attend church as religiously as your title requires, but that hardly means you are unholy.
What?
You might not
There we go. Gotta click on the
Making
right
sure
pixel.
that no one is watching, you slide the wooden picket under the door and draw out what appears to be a letter. You open the letter and read it. Dear applicant, please find enclosed the library membership card to which you are now entitled. The 5-year application process has concluded, and we are pleased to inform you that your status as a member of the town library is confirmed. Welcome to an exclusive group of patrons. Yours sincerely, Town Librarian. P.S. Please sign your name on the card to ensure validation.
Will you accept this?
No,
Why not?
it has not been signed.
Wait.
It is not meant to be inserted. You quickly grab the quill while the librarian isn't looking and sign your name on the blank library card. You replace the quill
That's how many
before
points
the
there are.
librarian notices it missing.
Will you accept this?
Yes, you are younger than I expected.
I eat well and get a lot of exercise.
I see.
So, what do I do now?
Borrow.
You mean I can take books from this library?
No.
Oh.
Yes?
Could you recommend a good book?
There.
The librarian has placed the book on the desk for you to read. Thoughtful, isn't she? This book is entitled Kalima, Perfect One Day, Better the Next. Browsing through it, you notice an interesting excerpt.
If you are if you are considering traveling to the wondrous land of Kalima, then you should be congratulated on your timing. For indeed, it has changed much since creation many years ago. The very occasional earthquake has altered the land to the east somewhat, creating deep chasms near the mountainside. The changing ocean levels in this region have caused an alteration in the shape of the coastline, and, of course, the people themselves have relocated from where they once lived. Most now reside in the town, which is nestled in the safety of the mountains. A wise decision, for more than a few have claimed to hear the sounds of howling at night, a sign that many wild animals have moved into the Weirwood forest in recent times. As a result, few venture past the town gates, especially after dark. This isolation and the relative scarcity of people throughout most of the realm has made Kalima a haven for the tourist who wishes to soak up the natural atmosphere of the land. It has also made a significant convenience for those who have settled in Kalima, far from the town and wish to maintain their privacy to pursue their own ambitions in peace. The realm of Kalima is a wondrous land of beauty and, for the adventurous among you, danger. See also Guidebook to the Land of the Green Isles.
You have nothing else to say at the moment. To consume a book does imply a literal definition.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm not, like I said, Seawalker, I'm not going to spend forever clicking on everything. These games definitely have a lot of Easter eggs or whatever, especially amongst like the gravestones and other stuff. I'm not going to click on all of them. That would take forever. You're more than welcome to watch a long play of this. There's a few really good ones on YouTube where they click on literally everything. However, for the sake of my sanity, I'm not going to do that.
You look for a nice, large pumpkin to take from the patch.
Free pumpkins.
Hey, watch it!
Oh my god.
Oh, sorry. I was not aware you could talk.
Likewise. Anyway, be careful where you're treading. You're spoiling the good soil by standing so close. And I got 8 kids to feed.
You glance at the smaller
8 kids,
pumpkins.
but there's only
These
7
must
here.
be her children.
I only count 7.
Yeah, well, I had 8. Then some strange man who spoke even stranger came by.
Oh, we missed the thing.
He claimed to be a horticle.
So the merchant in town we could have talked to, and I should have.
I let him take a look at my little darlings.
I'll try to be better about that.
Before I knew it, he'd gone and pinched one of my babies. Took off towards the town, he did. Of all the naive. Just because we're plants doesn't mean we don't deserve any respect.
I am sure that is true.
Actually, let's see if we can go back. The god didn't mention it, so I didn't do it. And the thought never occurred to me until just now.
Greetings, merchant.
Ah, to you, good day. Shh. A visitor arrived new, no? A sense I possess for these things. Need you have for my wares of great specialty?
Perhaps, but first, I'm curious. Where did you come by such a pumpkin?
Eyes quite keen, have you? Indeed, a specimen unique it is.
Be quiet.
The gift of speech among plants so rare, yes?
Of
Quite
course.
so. Are you planning to sell it?
Sell? Never would I sell such a thing as this.
It'll make me incredibly rich.
I mean, entrusted it was to my care. Watch over it, I must.
Mama! Take me back to my mama!
Forget it. I'm not taking you back to that patch. So pipe down.
Pardon?
Ah, of importance I speak not. Trouble to your ears I meant none.
What?
You consider confronting the merchant about the theft of the pumpkin, but as a stranger in town, you don't want to cause a scene. Perhaps a more subtle approach is in order.
teleport around a little bit. Alright, back to where we were.
Pardon me for asking, but how did you come by the ability to talk?
With a question like that, I might ask you the same.
I was only...
I don't take it personal. That old witch Agatha cast a spell on me so I could guide her precious possessions.
Hagatha?
Yeah, she's the old bat who lives in that cave to the west. You know her type. Green warts, pointed ears, cannibalistic, doesn't put her trash out. Just your stereotypical evil old crown.
She sounds pleasant. You mentioned something about guarding Hagatha's precious possessions.
At least, what she considers precious. I reckon they're anything but. Mind you, I have my doubts about Hagatha's legitimate ownership of this stuff, if you know what I mean.
What sorts of items does Hagatha wish you to guard?
Oh, the usual vanities. All useless in my opinion. But what would I know?
The mother pumpkin looks distressed. You decide not to interrupt her at the moment. You notice a thick rope dangling loosely against the trunk of the tree. Upon closer inspection, you see that the rope actually runs away from the tree and into the thick grass on the forest floor. This is obviously a trap. As you pick up the gold coins, they suddenly turn dark. Now they resemble ordinary metal. Wait a minute. This isn't gold. It's fool's gold.
Aw, man. Bamboozled. Do plants have genders? I'm glad you asked. So plants... Do you actually want to know? It'll change the way you view a lot of things, Amy. Plants have both genders, basically, but sometimes parts of the plant are not exactly what you might think they are. For example, the tomato plant. Tomatoes are the ovaries of the plant. They feature the flowers on plants have stigma and I forgot the other one. Anyways, to answer your question, they are both. Fool's gold on the fountain. You know why tomatoes are red?
The fool's gold again shines the instant the coins leave your hand.
3 coins in the fountain.
What? Let me see.
Yoink. Just wait till you learn about bananas. Talking pumpkin pie? The heck? Bananas naturally make antimatter. Is that why they use bananas in the Steins Gate?
The mother pumpkin looks very worried about her missing baby.
Sad pumpkin.
The baby pumpkin wants nothing more than to be back with its mother.
Happy pumpkin.
Baby! Thank you,
Graham.
Thank you, Graham. Here, take this. Maybe this useless trinket of Haggathis will be of some use to you. Serves you right for not enabling me to protect my kids.
The pumpkin hands you a gold brooch with a beautiful blue sapphire.
Is there anything more I can do for you?
Me thirsty, Mama. Now that you mention it, my baby is feeling a bit poorly. After all, living in a bowl ain't too good for your health, you know.
No, I did not know that. What would make your baby feel better?
Fresh water, naturally.
Of course.
Not too sweet, though. In fact, the more bitter the better. My children are very particular about what they drink.
I will see what I can do. So, you want bitter water?
That's right. So don't you go putting sugar in it.
So, you want...
That's
right. 4 screens south and 1 east. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 east.
You fill the bowl with the fresh spring water.
Lemon.
After using your sword to cut the lemon's surface, you squeeze some of its juice into the bowl. Then you discard the lemon.
When did you get the bowl? It was the pumpkin was sitting in the bowl. Alright, here we go. We're going on a journey. Trivia 2. If this was a speed run, we didn't get the run. We're searching for Possum's basket, which, according to this, may be way over here. It says check the far north section of the beach. Dang. I don't think I can go any farther. Oh, found it.
You take the basket.
I also don't like that emote. The artist for that emote screwed me over. So anytime I see any of that person's emotes, I'm reminded of the fact that the artist for that emote screwed me over.
You hand the basket to Possum.
Thank you, kind sir. Please take this flower. I'm afraid it's all I have to give you.
It is more than enough. I notice that you have picked only yellow flowers.
Of course. Is it not customary for one to pick yellow flowers for another who's gravely ill?
Certainly it is. I'm sorry to hear about your grandma, Possum.
Thank you. Goodbye.
What do you mean, when is Rudy's voice gonna show up? I already read out the book in the library.
You have run into an evil enchanter. Get out of here fast before he turns you into something.
That's one of the enemies. And also why I keep saving like every 2 seconds.
You pour the bitter water over the baby pumpkin. It seems to like that.
Thank you again, Graham. Here, take this.
The pumpkin reaches into her head and pulls out a candle, which she then hands
That's
to
her
you.
heart.
That thing has been jammed in my head for as long as I can remember. I know it ain't much, but maybe you'll find some use for it.
Thank you.
Don't mention it. Besides, it's really hard for me to sleep with that thing lit up inside my head all night. A word of warning. Hagatha has been talking about you. I heard her mention your name while she was muttering to herself. She does that when she's inspected her valuables. Anyway, I'd stay clear out of her way if I were you.
I appreciate the advice. Will Hagatha not be angered when she discovers you've given your candle away?
What's she gonna do? Turn me into a pumpkin?
Good point.
Besides, I could just blame the dwarf. He's earned himself a bad reputation from the day he moved here. Pity no one can catch him, not even Hagatha.
If I may ask...
Appreciate all you've done, Graham, but I want to spend some quality time with my children. Now be a good boy and run some other errand.
Mm-hmm.
A beautiful, majestic white swan gracefully glides across the lake.
Like this duck.
You release the little bird into the pond.
Since I know many of you haven't played earlier King's Quest games, they're very simple, with no real direction.
You pick up the white feather
And
put it
many of the
carefully
puzzles in them are basically just do things that you saw in, or do things you would read in fairy tales. And that's the story of the game. Just do stuff you found, you know, that happens in a fairy tale. It's like, this is obviously like the Swan Lake or whatever. The Ugly Duckling, I don't know, whatever it's called. Ugly Duckling, I think that's the one. Alright, here we go. Get the feather. One screen east. Yeah, currently I'm just saving babies. I feel like we did as a field trip in school. Alright, King's Quest games also feature everyone's favorite instant death mechanics.
Incredible. The door you have discovered has taken on the appearance of a face. It is silent, however, and almost seems to be waiting for something.
Look, it's got an eye. One eye. It's looking for its other eye.
It is a stone face.
It's got a third eye.
Greetings. I am King Graham of Daventry. Would you, by any chance, know of the way to a strange island on which stands
That's
a quartz
winky.
tower in which a beautiful woman is being held captive?
You feel more than a little foolish. Surely a door, even one with a face, would neither hear nor understand you.
I am the door of destiny. I am sought out by many, found by few, and opened by none so far. For indeed, only once can I be opened. Such is the magic that I am. Through me will you find the destiny you seek, if you can but perform a task.
Anything!
You feel intense exuberance that you have come so close to your goal in such a short time.
Surely it's this easy.
You must bring me the gems of nature.
Olmec.
I beg your pardon?
The
You must
stone door
solve
rumbles
the-
from deep within. For a time, it says nothing.
God, now I can't remember the stone
And
monkey thing.
Gems of three
Oh God.
I ask of thee to fetch, collect, and bring to me. In water shall you find the first, though not the type to quench your thirst. Spy the second, high in the sky, with wings or no, thou still must fly. Through swampy mire, so it is heard, in lone dark castle lies the third. Should you succeed, my noble king, to your fair maiden I will bring. I warn you though, you should beware, a danger cloaked awaits you there.
Without warning, the stony face falls silent. As you watch, it gradually smooths out to become the mountainside face once more.
Alright, so yes, we have to collect the three
You notice
stones.
that within the door,
We have to
3
romance the
shallow
stones.
indentations have sunk into the rock's surface. Presumably, the 3 gems of nature must fit here. Now all you have to do is find them. How did that poem go again?
Net. Butt, net, bird, butt. Butt spot, yes.
The paper is torn and dirty. It looks like a flyer of some sort. You smooth out the torn and tattered paper and read, "Curios I have, to the town do come, awaiting I am."
Why would he travel? I guess since you never played the first game, you don't know how amazing Graham is. Why would he need guards? Graham was like head of the guards in the first game or something like that.
This large fallen log is all that remains of a once grand tree. This large fallen...
Did I go too far?
This large... You can't use...
What do you mean I can't use that here?
This stump is too heavy.
There we go.
You peer into the depths of the dark hole. As luck would have it, you discover a beautiful set of earrings hidden inside. Each one is laced with glittering diamonds and contains a lovely blue sapphire
How did Graham become
stone in the
king?
center. Perhaps someone stashed them here. At any rate, you take them into your possession.
So in the first game, what happened was the king of Daventry was like, "Oh God, I'm dying," and Graham walks in and is like, "Hi, can I help you?" And he's like, "Graham, if you can find our 3 lost treasures, I'll let you be king when I die." Graham's like, "Okay." So then you leave, you go find the 3 lost treasures, you come back, and the king's like, "Oh, woe is me. I hope Graham found the 3 treasures in time." And then Graham walks in and it's like, "Hey, what's going on? I found the 3 treasures." And the king's like, "Yay!" Ugh. And then he dies. And then Graham's the king. And that's the story of King's Quest 1. Alright. Maybe I'll play the VGA, the homebrew, whatever, the remake of the first game. It's really short. It's seriously like an hour or an hour and a half.
Your status as king is marred only by the still lingering single tag.
That's not what I've done.
It is a mailbox. This is the first time you have ever set eyes upon one, which isn't surprising. The postal system won't be invented for another few centuries to come. The residents of this land must either possess clairvoyance or just simply be ahead of their time. You open the mailbox. Inside, there is, incredibly, a letter addressed to the resident. You decide to leave it in there. A card has been dropped in it also. You read it.
Have you been missing church services lately? How long a while since your last confession? There is still time yet to repent your sins before the final hour. Come to the Church of Kalima to pray for your own salvation, or just make a donation. Put your faith back into the church and walk the path that has been laid down before you. Hours from dusk till dawn.
You replace the card and close the mailbox.
This guy. It's missing a word. It says, go one screen west, and then in parentheses it just says, "You'll a mermaid."
A mermaid basks on a nearby rock. Her long flowing hair extends over most of her upper body. The green scales on her lower body sparkle as she basks in the sun.
I don't know if this will kill me, but let's try talking.
You say a few words to the mermaid. It quickly becomes apparent to you that she cannot understand your strange speech, let alone speak it. As you walk towards the mermaid, she tenses suddenly. Clearly, while she finds you to be a somewhat interesting and perhaps amusing creature, she still does not trust you in the slightest. Oh no, you have startled the mermaid.
Come back. Okay. Got.
Oh.
Is everyone's favorite mermaid? What's her face from Valkyrie Profile? The Lapras girl, I forgot her name. Lady I. That's not my favorite one. But that's okay. We all have our favorites.
You look under the log and discover a clam lying beneath it. You pick it up.
The mermaid from Futurama, I see. Trixie from ToeJam and Earl.
This is just an ordinary clam shell. There doesn't seem to be anything special about it.
Big fan of the mermaid girl in Valkyrie Profile. Forgot her name though.
You open the clam and discover, to your surprise, a dazzling pearl.
Oh my god, a dazzling pearl. Why do clams even make pearls? Good question, Amy. Where am I going? This guide is not super specific sometimes. If you've already been somewhere, or I guess it doesn't matter, it's like, go back to town. Oh, okay. Where's that again?
The merchant has a distinct out-of-town appearance and a get-out-of-town aroma.
Greetings again, merchant.
Yes, many greetings. Need you have now for my wares of great specialty?
What wares do you sell, good merchant?
For yourself, behold them.
You look over the merchant's wares of great specialty and quickly reevaluate them as junk.
You seem to have quite a selection of, well, quite a selection.
A keen eye have you.
Is very
engrossed
engrossed in what he was doing in the fountain.
A daunting task. Rather, by all means.
This I have.
You appraise the object he holds up to you. It is a simple shell, intricately fashioned into the shape of a comb. The workmanship is unlike anything you have ever seen.
Fascinating. Where did you find such a thing?
Oh, old it is. From ancient times descends. Valuable, without question. Royal property, former, to be sure.
You consider his story. Then you begin wondering which beach he found it on. You have no reason to give that
yet.
If I were to, say, purchase the shell, what would it cost?
A trifle would you expend. 7 golds.
7 golds?
I fear that I did not bring any money.
Curiosity, I find, in one who travels but with nothing to barter brings.
Good point.
Good point.
You have no reason.
What do you mean I have no reason?
Might you trade the shell comb for something?
The merchant ponders over this for a moment.
Of value, many things are. A fancy, only one I have.
And that is?
Pearls.
Pearls, you say?
Would you be interested in this pearl?
Indeed, I would. In return, the shell I present to you. May you be always groomed well.
The merchant grabs the pearl and tosses the shell comb to you. Then he saunters off. History will decide how greatly you were just swindled.
Oh, what a beauty. This will be worth a fortune back home.
Was I swindled? Was I really, truly swindled?
Yes?
Could you recommend another good book?
There!
To consume a... The librarian has placed the book. This book is entitled Way Below Your Level, A Look at Sentient Aquatic Life. Browsing through it, you notice an interesting excerpt.
Oh god. Way below your league. A look at sentient aquatic life. Wish to explore the sea? Good luck. Even the most accomplished swimmers cannot swim very far before they tire or are pulled underwater by the currents. Even without a ship, it is difficult to properly explore beneath the surface without some means of breathing underwater. Truly, only the mer people have ever been known to offer aid in this regard. Though the relationship between land dwellers and their marine counterparts has been somewhat strained over the years, it is said that the mer people, in particular their leader, King Neptune, can appraise an individual quite accurately. In fact, they seem to possess a natural ability to sense whether a person intends hostility toward them or not. Fortunately for the would-be adventurer to their underwater kingdom, they are peaceful people, not prone to unwarranted acts of violence. The mer people's nature is in sharp contrast to that of their neighbors, the Sharkies, who live in seclusion in the deeper, darker waters of the ocean. Little is known about them except that they are fearsome to behold, and do not take kindly to visitors. They are rumored to be excessively xenophobic, and hence have avoided contact with most of the outside world. It can be assumed that trespassers into their territory would be dealt with swiftly and harshly.
You have nothing else to say at the moment.
Thank you for the book. I'm sorry to hear that. And now for one of the most difficult parts of the entire game. For a variety of reasons. We'll find out, Amy. We'll find out. Oh, God.
You have run into an evil enchanter. Get out of here fast before he turns you into something.
Oh, no. Is this really the bottom of the beach? I believe I've gone the wrong way.
You hold out the shell comb in your hand. Clear recognition shines from the mermaid's delicate features. She hesitates a moment, then cautiously extends her arm, hands open expectantly.
That's me. Never forget that time
You gently place the shell comb
in
her palm.
World of Warcraft as a warlock
The mermaid examines it.
rolled on an
and
item I couldn't even
smiles.
equip.
She removes an opal necklace from around her neck and
Not even
hands
gonna tell
it
that
to
story.
you.
It's
After
so
a
bad.
moment of admiring her once lost possession, she looks at you with anticipation. You attempt to charade the act of going underwater to the mermaid. She regards you with a look of puzzlement. Just when the whole demonstration becomes too embarrassing to continue, she suddenly dives into the sea and swims right up to you.
Found my true love, this mermaid. We made out.
After giving you a rather intense kiss, the
Ooh.
mermaid dives under the water again. You wonder where she has disappeared to. Then suddenly, you feel a pulling at your legs.
Oh.
The mermaid holds on to you, keeping you from resurfacing. You struggle instinctively while trying to hold your breath, but she will not let go. You know you are going to black out soon.
Never saw this coming.
Wait a minute, you're still breathing. How can this be? Could it have been the mermaid's kiss? Speaking of which, where has she gone to this time?
Hello.
Well, this is a new experience. The seahorse willingly allows you to climb upon its back. You slide into the little saddle and take up the reins in your hands. You just hope this creature knows where it is taking you. After a time of traveling through ever-deepening water, you arrive at a massive stone archway. Passing through it, you notice it is covered with many different intricate symbols, none of which you recognize. Mer writing, perhaps? As you emerge on the other side of the arch, a grand sight greets your eyes. You have entered an aquatic throne room. As one would expect, such a place has a throne of sorts, but what you see seated in it takes your breath away, if that still applies. It is unmistakably the ruler of the Mer people, the king
I like
of this
his,
watery world,
his like slouchy,
known by many names.
like,
Neptune
sitting.
is the one by which he is best known.
He's
to
just
you.
like, what up, dog? Yeah, that lean.
You bow before the king. He returns the gesture with a lowering of his own head. You open your mouth to speak, but only a bubble emerges. It begins floating up to the surface. You watch as your air bubble divides in two. Incredibly, each half maintains its semi-spherical shape. You take the half bubbles in your hands and position them respectively near your mouth and ear. A deep, elegant voice instantly booms from them.
You are welcome here, human.
Thank you. I am King Graham of Daventry.
Your courtesy depicts your stature. What is it you seek here?
You explain that you are seeking the 3 gems of nature, and that you believe one of them to be somewhere in this realm. You demonstrate the approximate size and shape of the gem, then mention the Door of Destiny and what you hope to find on the other side.
I do have that which you are seeking, and know of the Door of Destiny. It is very old. Its origin
Wait till you see the
is
3rd
known
gem,
to
Amy,
but a
if you're
few.
here for it.
What I possess was known to the ancients as the Birth Gem. In the realm of the Mer people, it is called the Water Gem, for without water, life cannot begin.
Might I have this gem, Your Majesty?
I shall let you have the gem, but first I must ask you to earn it by way of performing a service for me.
You are about to say anything But then remember what you heard the last time you said that word to the stone door. Instead, you just nod and allow Neptune to continue.
My trident, the symbol of my power and the strength of my people, has been stolen.
A faint mumbling can be heard through the ear half of your bubble. This event is obviously of concern to those in attendance.
It is believed that one of our allies and neighbors have taken advantage of the Mer people's kindness, and that their own king now has possession of the trident. If you can reclaim it in the name of the Mer people, I will grant you ownership of the water gem. Will you do this, King Graham?
The murmuring has stopped. All are awaiting your response.
I would be honored to reclaim your trident, Your Majesty.
My sentries will escort you to the border between our two kingdoms. You may continue to use that steed to hasten your journey. It is my best. My sincerest hopes that you do not fall victim to the Sharkies.
As you prepare yourself for this new quest, a sudden pang of apprehension seizes you. Did the king just say Sharkies, as in sharks?
Your Majesty, is there anything you can tell me about the Sharkies?
They are large, fierce, and carnivorous.
Anything else?
They are always hungry.
Anything that might be of benefit?
Like something to help you live longer?
I do recall that they have poorer vision than we Mer people do, as they dwell in the darker waters.
So I might have a chance were I to encounter one.
You can always hope.
That was not inspiring.
Uh-oh.
Why was your trident stolen?
That is a matter of great concern to me. Should the Sharky King determine the trident's nature, he would assuredly bring about the deaths of countless Mer people.
Oh dear.
I shall return as soon as I am able, Your Majesty.
Good luck.
As you depart the underwater kingdom, you see two guards waiting to escort you to the Sharky's realm. The sentries swiftly guide you along the bottom of the seabed, descending into much darker, colder water. After keeping pace with them for what seems like an eternity, you notice a forebodingly dark area looming closer and closer. You have arrived at the border of the Sharky's kingdom. This is as far as the sentries will take you. One of the guards salutes you. Then they both head back to the safety of their own waters. You're on your own from here, Graham.
Alright, so from what I understand, sometimes you just die.
Those guards were sure in a big hurry to get out of here.
The game, the guide mentions, like, saving, like, constantly here.
You need to get close. You need to get You need
to get closer. I literally can't get any closer.
You need to You need to get You need You need to get You need
Yes?
This kind of plant would not.
Do I have to, like, line Graham up with the thing?
You need to.
Oh my god.
You can't use. You need to. You need to get. You need
I can't get any closer.
You need to get.
Can I get off
This
of it?
would not be the safest place.
Oh, that's a good question. I know that you can, but I don't know if you can here.
This would. You need.
It says take the bottle to the right of the wreck.
Examining the heavily waterlogged remnants of the vessel, you notice an old antique bottle half buried in the sand. With great difficulty, you lean over in your saddle and manage to scoop it up.
Did it.
You remove the cloth from the bottle.
Cloth.
There is nothing of interest lying on the seabed, and you are not here to collect shells or coral. You can't reach the...
You need to get closer.
You sluggishly attempt to grab some of the small fish in your palm. However, they easily evade you by zipping around your hand and through your fingers.
I need the grass.
There is nothing of interest. There is nothing. You sluggishly...
It says get some of the weeds.
You lean over and pick some of the grass, which grows in between the rocks. You stuff the sugary grass into the empty bottle and push it all the way to the bottom. You place the baited bottle on the seabed, close to the luminescent fish. A few of the glowing fish are now swimming around inside the bottle. You take the bottle.
Now I didn't die. Claude, yeah, that's just how that is sometimes, I guess. Just how it is. How's it going, Blackie? So this part's... Did I just save here? Yeah, this part's kind of annoying.
Having noticed the fish moving suspiciously in and out of the rock wall, you reach out and touch it. To your astonishment, your hand passes right through. The western wall is but an illusion. You easily pass through it into a series of caves and tunnels on the other side.
Dark Souls did it first.
A large opaque shell seemingly blocks a tunnel to the north. Whatever lies in that direction must be very important.
I could actually do this, but we might as well.
You slide your blade through a small gap in the door and pull with all your might. It is difficult handling your weapon underwater, and you realize that combat will not be an option. So if it ever comes to that, you're in big trouble. As you open the door, ample light floods into the underwater cave, and you are now able to make your way around without the glowing fish.
Alright. Now for some King's Quest shenanigans.
Oh,
Just
no.
wait, Fatima.
The seahorse has followed you. Let's hope it doesn't give your presence away. You are safely concealed behind the remnants of a stone archway. This is fortunate, as the king of the Sharkies is also here. Aside from his menacing appearance, he also seems to be in a very bad mood.
I do not understand it. It should work for me. Is it not written that Trident's power can only be wielded by those of goodwill? Well, is it not?
The king's aides nod fervently.
And do I not possess the greatest will in this kingdom? No one can best me in battle. My resolve is unshakable. No amount of bleeding can dissuade me from slaughtering my enemies. Does this not signify that my will is the best there is?
Best is way better than
The
good.
Sharky King's aides seem all too willing to agree.
Then why does it not work?
Here we go.
You watch carefully as the Sharky King taps 4 shells in order around the arch.
Okay. I hope everybody caught that.
It matters not. Tomorrow we invade the Mer people's territory. For without the Trident's power, that old fool Neptune and his weakling followers will fall before our might. Goodwill. Ha! Mine is superior to all.
As he leaves, the Sharky King motions for his guards to remain. Having an idea, you approach your somewhat reluctant steed and slap him hard on the back.
Go seahorse.
Look at him go. The guards are momentarily distracted. Now is your chance.
Sure hope nothing bad happens to him. Oh god.
You push on the shell. It moves back slightly into the wall.
Wait. Heck.
You were never any good with this sort of thing at school. Oh no. The shark. You watch carefully
this one?
as the Sharky King taps four.
That one. That one. 2, 3. Is it this one?
It matters not.
As
This one, this one, this one.
having an idea. Look. You push on the ship.
There we go.
Without delay, you snatch up the trident before the guards return to their posts. It appears as if the guards are losing interest in the seahorse. You had better get out of here quickly. Oh no, the seahorse has followed you all the way back to the secret entrance. The guards are sure to discover you now. You remount the seahorse. Your seahorse glides onward, flicking its little tail faster than ever. You grip the reins tightly, glancing nervously over your shoulder every so often to check for pursuing sentries.
You all right
As
for
you
that?
make distance, your anxiety melts into relief. But it is to be short-lived.
Oh, wait.
Finally, you see the light at the end of the tunnel. You quickly make a dash for the exit. As you emerge, you realize you have only seconds before the guards come out after you. And even if you could outrun them, you're sure the commotion would attract the sentry's attention. Then you'd be in real trouble. Suddenly, you hear a strange voice in your head.
He of noble and goodwill, royal trident thou may wield.
You wonder what that did, if anything at all.
did it. Nancy. Kentucky. Quacks
The
2.
trident guides you back to Neptune's realm.
Have your trident. It's now mine.
You approach the king. He smiles and graciously accepts his trident from you. Then he calls everyone to attention.
To commemorate the return of my trident, and to honor King Graham's success, I hereby call for a celebration.
The celebration lasts for some time. You
should
eat,
probably tell him
drink,
about
and
the
have a
lurking
merry
danger.
time with many of the mer people.
Sharkies are going to
After
attack
a few
tomorrow.
hours, the festivities wind down, and you finally have a chance to speak with Neptune alone.
The gems of nature represent the 3 stages of life. Water gives birth to life, and thus what I have given you is the first of 3. Second is the growth gem, or air gem, for air sustains life and permits it to grow.
How might I find the growth gem?
I know only that its location is as far above the surface of the land as we are below it. Beyond that, I cannot aid you.
A smirk crosses Neptune's face momentarily.
You might say that air is not exactly my element.
You decide that the beverages consumed were to blame for that one.
And the third gem, Your Majesty?
Third is the death gem.
Oh
the
dear.
completion of life and the natural order of things. The door of destiny understands this now, as did the ancients who imprisoned the soul within. As for that gem's location, I had hoped you would have no business venturing to the castle. Kalima was once ruled from that place, but sadly her people have not seen their lord for quite some time.
How long a time?
Oh, a good 4, maybe 5 decades.
Decades?
50 years?
Surely then...
If you please, I would prefer not to dwell upon this subject. You have done me a great service this day, and I thank you. Good luck, King Graham, and good speed.
Alright, so we got the growth gem. Third of the way. 64 out of 185. That's 1/3, right?
You depart the underwater kingdom and head back towards the surface. What an incredible experience. You are certain you'll never forget the adventure you just had. Additionally, you have acquired one of the gems. As you resurface, you realize that the magic which allowed you to breathe underwater has now subsided.
Oh, man. Let's see. I'm gonna run to the restroom real quick. Enjoy the sweet sounds of the beach. I'll be right back. Hello everyone. I have returned. While we wait for anyone else to return, how has everyone enjoyed King's Quest II thus far? It's quite the adventure. Good? It's quite silly, I see. Higher quality. I mentioned this at the beginning of this. This is my second favorite. I think King's Quest VI will always have like a special place in my heart just because of nostalgia. But yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of things I like about this, especially the later part of the game that we haven't gotten to yet. That I don't know. I would put this up there. For me personally, I would put this one up there with 6. But I know a lot of people have a lot of really strong feelings towards 5 as well. Only been here a few minutes. 10 out of 10 sharks. Yeah, they remade 1 through 3. This company, AGDI, remade 1 through 3, but it'd be nice if somebody remake 4. I can understand why 4 is not as popular. It stars Rosalina, Graham's daughter, and Alexander's sister. It's much better than 3 in my opinion, but it's definitely lacking. An Ascended fan game, yeah. Done with a lot of the original, well, I say original. A lot of people that were involved in the later games. Did we finish Jurassic Park? We did. Alright, so anyways, let's continue our journey. Doop-doop-doo. Know what you're thinking. The next thing we should do. Definitely something we've been meaning to take care of since the very beginning. Been a while. We've gone on an entire underwater adventure since we last saw this guy. Been quite some time, but the solution to the puzzle was in a bottle in the ocean.
Here. This might help your sneezing.
Oh, thanks. Here, you can have this back now.
You retrieve the partially used cloth from the haystack.
Nice.
Feel better?
Yeah, it's so good to be able to
Just like in King's Quest V.
You take the silver needle. The haystack, or rather whoever or whatever is inside it, is no longer responsive to your inquiries.
What were you thinking? It is. Delete it. In King's Quest V, you have to get a bunch of ants to go into a haystack to find the needle.
Yes?
Could you recommend another good book?
There!
The librarian has placed the book on the desk for you to read. Thoughtful, isn't she?
Read it.
This book is entitled Legends.
New Legends
Browsing through
of the Hidden
you
Temple?
notice an interesting excerpt.
Daventry's first king, known to many as Leganimor, is as much an enigma of history as he is woven into the fabric of legend itself. Though his passing occurred nearly 1,000 years ago, it remains somewhat unclear as to the manner of his death and what became of the power he wielded. Historians do believe. Wait. Oh my god. Hold on. Historians do know that Leganimor was a powerful magician, or a wizard, as he might be called nowadays. He is largely credited with bringing, along with his kind, magic and chivalry to Daventry and the surrounding world. According to legend, during what was arguably the bloodiest war Daventry has ever seen, Leganimor sought to commit his awesome power to the cosmos. It is believed that he blamed himself for the extent of the Grand War, in particular, the magic that had been used to exacerbate the death toll. He therefore chose to render himself mortal, an action that would prove to be his last. However, legend would also suggest that his power may be attainable, if only one were to perceive and understand how and when. This is evidenced by a parchment located just a few centuries ago and dated 30 years after the first king's death. Yeah, the fonts... this was some other font, it'd probably be easier to read. Oh god. If seekest you the power of Leganimor, thou shalt be well appraised. It will not be an easy task, from the path thou may be swayed. For in great Daventry lies the means, for which it may be found, belonging to one who rules the land, by one who wears the crown. From this circle nature springs, from royal thoughts thus sown. Though woe betide the unjust thief who claims it for his own. In this great land 'tis known to rest the corpse of Leganimor, who died defending his home turf in the longest, fiercest war. His great mistake which sealed his fate, he cast his magic aside, up high into the heavens, which forever stretches wide. But the search may be rewarding for the seeker of his power, as its apex soon approaches when cometh the darkest hour. Hark! Spy sun and moon and planets, as all of them align. The one prepared for the ascension will surely see the sign. Power thus can then be granted to just one from this great tool. If one be thee, then thou shalt be for the everlasting jewel. The first king's brother, Mereglium, is also presumed killed in the Grand War. Leganimor's loyal first knight and successor, Ranthithor, ruled over the realm for nearly 50 years. He sired a number of children who either remained to guarantee the continuation of the royal bloodline or set forth to build kingdoms of their own. Needs the Comic Sans patch. Agreed.
Yes?
Could you recommend another good book?
There!
You have nothing else to say at the moment. This book is entitled Power, Politics, and Pulpits. Browsing through it, you notice an interesting excerpt.
Oh my god. In many lands, the church and state have long shared a mutual distrust of one another. While the state is responsible for the wealth and security of the realm, the church's concern is for the moral standing of the population. It is said that when one intrudes upon the domain of the other, discord is inevitable. In no other place has this been more unpleasant than Kalima. The feud between the two institutions there dates back many decades. In the days of the late Count Kratstrom, the Lord of Kalima, spoke openly the need for change, chiefly regarding the education of the common people. The Church of Faith maintained that the simple people were of the land. They knew their rightful place, and thus their path was secure. Years later, the young and idealistic Count Kaldor declared that the Church of the Faith had purposely been holding the people back. retaining their ignorance of literature and the wider world for their own selfish benefit. Naturally, the church resented this insinuation and in turn declared Caldor a heathen. At that time, the mood of the population had tensed. Stability in the realm had weakened as dissension between the church and state rose. It may have continued to do so had the situation not been annulled by tragedy. The Count befell a terrible injury while in the forest one night, which later proved fatal. Sorry, my reading's bad. While it expressed, it's mostly the font actually that's like ruining this. While it expressed its condolences to the family of the fallen lord, the Church of the Faith asserted that only through its own vision for Kalima, not the rulers, could the people find their true path. It is a curious point to note that no new leader has been chosen to replace Caldor, though it has been many years since his passing. When questioned about this, the townsfolk are likely to either ignore the inquiry altogether or cast a furtive glance in the direction of the now inaccessible castle.
You have nothing else to say at the moment.
Alright, anyways, it's enough reading for today.
The little old lady is tiny, with twinkling blue eyes. Her white hair is done up in a neat bun on top of her head. She appears at first to be in her 60s. Then you notice the sheer quantity of makeup plastered on her face, and decide that she may well be older than that.
Good afternoon. What can I do for you, dear?
Hello. Do you sell anything that would aid an ascent up a mountain?
Unfortunately, I do not sell climbing equipment, or anything of that sort. This is really a specialist store.
Oh.
However, I do have an item which you might find useful. This lamp is said to contain a genie.
What?
I never tried it myself, of course. I do not believe in using magic to solve my problems. Nature has made us as we are, and we should be glad of that.
Uh-huh. How much for the lamp?
The old lady hesitates. You sense she wants more from you than your money. You hope it is not anything that you will regret.
Well, seeing as how you are a man who seems adept at taking care of himself, perhaps you could do a small favor for me?
Somehow, you knew she was going to say that.
I once owned a beautiful nightingale. Quite rare around here. But the sentimental value far outweighs its monetary worth. That foul old witch Hagatha has stolen it from me, probably to use in some concoction or another.
Her nose screws up in disgust.
So, if you could be a sweetie and retrieve it for me, I will trade you. The lamp for the bird. Agreed?
Well, I will see what I can do.
Do be careful. If Hagatha should spot you out of her good eye, then you'll be in for it.
Her good eye, you say? What do you think Graham wishes for? Start making your guesses now. Obviously, it would be for the girl to be free from the tower, am I right? Obviously, he would never wish for anything else but the girl in the tower to be freed. Let's see.
A large and incredibly hefty-looking mallet is propped up against the shelf. A small engraving on its head reads, Broggy. Ah, Dragonfire! Oh, no, wait. It's just a mounted dragon head. Whew. An expensive-looking statue catches your eye. It is sculpted of white marble and appears to be the only item of any real value within the shop. You find it quite odd that this grand statue is situated amongst other ordinary items of far less value.
Is that a robot?
Apparently, this interesting-looking item is a Model DX cartridge retrieval unit. Quite a useful little device in another time and place.
The town entrance. Go 2 screens south. 4 west and 1 north. Time to teleport around a little bit. 1, 2, 3. Oh god. Bump down.
What an enchanting encounter. Enjoy the rest of your life as his pet.
Bump down. Sometimes you just die. You just get RNG'd into oblivion. This is a speed run, it'll be over. Alright.
It is a human skull with a radiant blue stone wedged into its eye socket. It is a human skull with large eye sockets. As you attempt to place the birth gem into the skull, you discover that it does not fit properly. Instead, it juts out uselessly like a bulging eyeball. The birth gem protrudes from the skull like a bulging eyeball. You'll somehow need to push it in further.
You're doing great there, Graham.
You gently tap the birth gem with the mallet, hoping not to break it. It budges only slightly. You give it a harder hit. It moves a bit more. You hold your breath and give the gem an almighty thwack. It pops into the skull. The birth gem is now fully inside this skull's eye socket. As you face the skull towards the image of the bat above the cave, you notice that its wing has faded slightly. However, you suspect that whatever danger the bat represents is still in effect.
So this is the earlier, I didn't mention this earlier, so that I could mention it now. This game does or the first 3 games especially do have an interesting way of like giving you hints and telling you the solutions for puzzles. So like when we first met Possum and she was talking about the nightmares that her grandmother were having, the grandmother mentions that there was something about a blue light dissipating bats or whatever. So this is like the solution.
You turn the rightmost skull so that it faces the bat symbol above the cave entrance. The power of the 2 skulls combined has caused the bat symbol to disappear. You sense whatever danger it represented has now subsided.
Okay, I gotta do a bunch of wacky stuff here. Let's actually do this cave.
You could try to climb the side of the cave. Then again, you could keep your feet on the ground and concentrate on what you're trying to accomplish. That's about as you.
How do I go into the cave? I see.
As you enter, you are almost overwhelmed by the foul stench which molests your nostrils. It is obviously coming from whatever Hagatha is cooking in that large cauldron of hers. There are some things of interest on the other side of the cave, but you have no means of crossing over there safely at this time. A caged nightingale sits on the floor near the northern cave wall. The light from outside barely penetrates the interior of this cave. So long as you keep your distance, Hagatha shouldn't notice you. Being as quiet as a mouse, you slide your hand inside the cloak to discover a deep pocket. Amongst sticky and disgusting spell ingredients, you find a tiny silver key and a peculiar golden ring-shaped device. You slide the silver key into the lock. It fits. You turn it silently, and the chain falls to the ground. You silently drop the cloth over the cage. Without making a sound, you take the nightingale into your possession. You hear Agatha begin a chant of some kind while stirring her brew.
The fluid of blood with bone and flesh.
You remove the cloth from the cage. Looking at the bottom of the cage, you find that a letter has become stuck to it. You peel it off. The paper is slightly crumpled and dirty, having somehow become stuck to the bottom of a bird cage. The paper. You read the letter.
Oh my god. Alright, where are my glasses? There are so many letters on this page. My dear sister, it has been a while since my last letter to you, and quite an age since we last spoke. Such are the busy lives we lead. I know of your preoccupation with eliminating your competition and wish you well in that ongoing endeavor. As for my part, the servant I have owned for the past 17 years is soon to come of age. It will almost be a shame to kill this one, for he is quite adept at his chores. But the tradition must be observed at all times. I shall require a replacement in the not-too-distant future. Perhaps I should think up a new name for my next slave, though it is that much easier when I need only remember one. I've asked the father to notify me at once, should he hear of any likely candidates. Speaking of which, though it is in no way my place to question the will of the father, for surely he has the best interests of all his followers at heart, does he not spend so much time locating that item of legend which he has been seeking for almost a millennium? While he is not to be second-guessed, I do wonder, is he so assured of its existence that he is willing to turn his attention away from his flock for so long a time? As for our remote brother, he seems increasingly interested in the ladies these days. I believe he has his eye on a royal couple who are expected to conceive a girl within the year, or so the signs say. I must confess, if he's prepared to wait so many long years for the child's maturation before abducting her, then he has far more patience than I. I await your reply, dear sister, and hope that this letter finds you well. If you have the chance to speak with the father, perhaps you will inquire his commitment to this item he seeks. I would advise the utmost discretion naturally. Your loyal and by far the better sibling, M. So for anyone curious, M is I forgot the guy's name. It's the third guy. So the guy he has captured, that is almost 17 years of age, is Alexander, Graham's son, which is what the third game is about. So in the third game you play as Alexander, as he acts as a slave to... I forgot this guy's name. It's Mordak is the name of the brother. But they're both M's. It's like... I don't remember. Anyways, Mordak, Agatha, and the guy from the third game are all part of this, Black Cloak something. I forgot what it's called. Some cult thing. So they're talking, the family they're talking about that is about to have a girl within the year, is, what's her face from the Land of Green Isles. In any case, a lot of this time-wise doesn't really make sense, since, and it's talking about Alexander being 17 when the girl was first born, but like 15, 16, or even 17 years don't really occur, as far as I'm aware, between the third game and the fifth game. And maybe it does. I don't know. I don't know the King's Quest timeline in terms of actual years. But that's what this is in reference to, is all those things that will happen in the future.
The letter puzzles you, but...
Anyways. Yes. Pow.
You strike the skull with all your strength, and it shatters easily. The birth gem clatters to the ground, along with a multitude of bone fragments.
What are you talking about? You don't know the name of Mahavalakor of something? I forgot. Mal...
You reacquire the birth gem.
Alright, birth gem. I don't remember where this was. I remembered where this was. Hello, I have your bird. It looks like a duck.
You offer the nightingale to Angelina. The sheer elation on her face almost makes the whole risk worth the while. She snatches it from you and proceeds to fuss over the bird. You wait for a moment, but it seems she no longer notices you.
If you don't mind, about the lamp you promised me in trade for the nightingale?
The shopkeeper looks up at you vaguely. She gradually remembers that there is another being in her world.
Yes? Oh, yes, take it. You'll have no beginning of use with it.
Don't you mean no end of use?
Of course. Whatever you say, dear.
Bye.
You hear Angelina muttering cheerfully to herself as she exits.
Finally, I have the final ingredient for that marvelous youth potion.
What?
I'm going to beat you to the punch, my dear Agatha. Serves you right for hoarding this sweet, juicy thing to yourself.
Oh,
You
no.
feel a nauseous tinge in your stomach. Well, at least the lamp is now yours.
Surely we won't use the lamp to free the bird.
You take the old lamp. You rub the lamp and wait expectantly, but nothing happens. You're about to give it another try when a small puff of smoke appears at the end of the spout. It clears, revealing a note. As you remove it, the lamp disappears. You read the scroll.
To the unlucky fool who bought this lamp, as you may have gathered, this lamp no longer contains a fabulous genie, as my former master, praise him in his greatness, has released me with his final wish. However, as a consolation, please be advised the following. The shopkeeper is not to be trusted. She dabbles in the black arts and keeps rather distasteful company. May these words reveal what lies beneath, and may your findings lead you to a higher position in life. So hard like a stone, and white like the snow, stands silent the man who guards what's below. May you forever know the beauty of freedom. Signed, Nibor Sima Will. Genie. I've been bamboozled!
Upon closer examination, you discover that the statue hides a small latch. You flip the latch and watch in amazement as a trap door opens up from the floor. Placing your grubby hands you close the trap door behind you. You see a letter on the desk. You read the letter sitting on the desk.
Angelina, once again, I put to you an invitation to join our illustrious community. Unsurprisingly, you have heard of its reputation through other channels. I personally encourage you to give it serious thought. We are not only interested in new membership from the mages of this world. This invitation goes out to all who believe that when the appointed time comes, only the faithful will be rewarded. The rest of those poor, unenlightened fools will perish. All that is asked in return is complete allegiance to the Father. He has guided us from the beginning, and His power is far older than most. I know you are hesitant due to concerns regarding the dress code. Let me assure you that black would look simply charming on you, dear. My gratitude goes out to you for your flattering assertion that I would make a fine ruler of Kalima. What a shame that the former ruler has lost all interest in his homeland. I cannot blame him, however. The change struck him quite hard. To answer your earlier question, yes, I have acquired a nightingale. They are most uncommon in this region, and yes, I am quite sure that it is the final ingredient required to complete my youth potion. As much as I would like to share it with you, I am afraid that a single nightingale will provide only enough solution for one person. In any event, I shall, of course, pay you a visit the moment the youth potion takes effect. With great love, Hagatha.
As you pick up the carpet, you notice a small label which reads, "Property of Al Din." There might be a faded letter or two in there, but you cannot be sure. Above you, from the back room, you discern Angelina's voice.
I did it! I did it! The youth potion is finally finished. All I need to do now is drink it.
Angelina, show yourself, you scurvy wench.
Agatha? My dear! What an unexpected surprise!
Don't you play the fool with me. I know you stole it.
Stole? Really, I do not know.
Silence. For your lies and deceit, there can be only one consequence.
No, please. I can explain.
I said silence. Oh, and one more thing. Your invitation to join us is revoked. What is this? Ah, the youth potion at last. Oh no.
Oh no.
spell for removing floorboards. Curses. I shall have to go back and look it up.
You fish around in the pile of down and successfully retrieve the youth potion.
Ah, yes. What I always needed.
Cautiously, you open the trapdoor ever so slightly and peer into the room above. Hagatha is nowhere to be seen. You make your exit from the basement. You flick the latch. The trapdoor closes and conceals itself into the floorboards once more.
Alright. You thought our way up into the clouds was through this mysterious carpet.
You unroll the magic carpet, lay it on the ground,
Here we go.
and sit on it. The carpet begins to rise skyward.
Nice animation.
As you ascend higher, you realize that the carpet is beyond your control. It glides through the air on a seemingly predetermined course.
Oh no. Watch out, Grim. Wait, hold on. Yeah, let's do this. Mount. Trivia mount.
A snake blocks your path to the east. It appears to be about 10 feet long and is coiled up, ready to strike. It is a simple but carefully woven pendant of seagrass. A shiny opal dangles from it. You dangle the shimmering opal in front of the snake. It soon falls hypnotized in typical snake fashion.
Watch out, Graham. There is an Easter egg here.
You reach into the cavity and feel around. What is this? You've discovered a button hidden inside the rock. You press it and wait to see what happens next.
You recognize this guy? Shoutouts to you.
A man stands beside you. He appears to be somewhat of an adventurer, much like yourself.
Greetings. I am King Graham of Daventry.
The newcomer nods in greeting. Without a word, he respectfully appraises you. You notice about him the manner of one who has only recently learnt the meaning of heroism.
From where do you hail, good sir?
The man opens his mouth to answer, but then pauses to consider that question. Evidently deciding that irrelevant exposition would serve neither party, he casually gestures to the hole in the rock behind you.
Might I inquire something of your identity?
After a brief search of his own person, the man pulls out a scroll card and hands it to you. You unroll it, and it reads, "Having fulfilled the requirements in accordance with the statutes of the famous Adventurers Correspondence School, the bearer is a qualified would-be hero." The man also shows you a medallion. Upon it are the words, "Hero of Spielberg." You reverently return the scroll to the man.
You don't say much, do you?
With a sigh of resignation, the man shakes his head silently.
Surely you might speak to me of your adventures.
The man becomes quite enthused about the prospect of relating his most recent adventure to you. Just as he is about to speak, however, you notice something on the ground that the man must have dropped. You retrieve the paper. It appears to be a scroll. Upon it is some writing. Disclaimer, you have just witnessed a rather shameless plug for the remake of Quest for Glory 2 Trial by Fire by the entities of AGD Interactive. Available now. As you read
if you thought it was the guy from Quest for Glory 2,
the scroll disappears.
You were absolutely correct.
You flip through the book entitled Ye Old Book of Enchantments, Causes, and Cures. The first half contains a list of enchantments. These do not interest you, as you have no desire to inflict inconvenience upon others. However, the Cures section does capture your curiosity. While browsing, you spy a promising paragraph.
Oh my god. Alright, so this is the instructions for what I'm about to do. I'm not gonna read all this. This is just how to cast a spell. Okay.
You approach the workbench for a closer look. You toss the brooch into the beaker. You toss the sickly yellow flower into the beaker. You strike the blade of your sword against the flint stone. It sparks, and the wick catches alight. You watch, fascinated, as the two unlikely objects melt under the heat of the magical flame. You stir the mixture carefully with the white feather. It soon dissolves in the hot liquid. This is the sword of the first king of Daventry. It dates back almost 1,000 years and has been passed down from king to king since that time. Try not to damage it. A magnificent clear crystal is embedded within its hilt. It is heavy. You managed to dislodge the crystal that had been set within the hilt of the sword almost a millennium ago. You feel a tinge of guilt and wonder what all the past monarchs of Daventry would say if they saw you damaging ancient crown property. You drop the crystal in and watch, amazed, as the green liquid slowly seeps into it.
Heed now these words. Crystal, perfect. Green is thy hue. Restore, correct. Guard well my form. Preserve, protect.
You recite the words correctly, line for line, and sure enough, only a brilliant emerald remains in the glass beaker. You quickly blow the flame out so as not to overheat the emerald and cause damage to it. Picking it up gingerly, you're amazed that the emerald took virtually no time at all to cool. As you direct the sun's light through the emerald at the snake, you behold a wondrous transformation.
That's exactly how emeralds are made. It's how Elon Musk earned all his money.
Now stands a magnificent winged horse.
His family was a bunch of enchanters.
thank you for freeing me. A horrid enchanter transformed me into that legless thing after I refused to be his steed.
That was quite a gamble, to refuse an enchanter.
True, but I could not have accepted, even if I had wanted to. For I am a disciple of the cloud, and can serve no land dweller.
Disciple of the cloud? What does that mean?
First, tell me of what you seek up here.
You take a deep breath, then explain about the Door of Destiny, the gems of nature, and your present quest to locate the growth gem.
So, you seek the air gem?
Yes, that is right. You know of it?
Most certainly. But you will not be able to reach it by any means available to you or any of your
Shucks.
kind.
Guess we better give up.
I would gladly take you to it, but alas, the enchanter took and hid from me my bridle. Without it, we could search for 1,000 years and still never find the cloud spirit.
Where did he hide your bridle?
I do not know. Perhaps a clue may be found in that blackguard's abode behind me.
You hear footsteps approaching.
Oh no! I never expected this.
Uh-oh, the
Your boy the
enchanter has
Enchanter.
caught you in his lair. He twirls his hands, aims them at you, and then utters some words under his breath. You feel a tingling sensation all over your body as the enchantment attempts to transform you into whatever the enchanter has fancied. At the same time, you also feel the comforting energy of the emerald shielding you. The enchanter's twisted smile turns downwards. He scowls at you. There is a look of panic on the man's face.
Oh, no.
He does not dare breathe.
I hereby order you to depart from Kalima forever, never to trouble its citizens again, lest you earn the fullness of my wrath.
The enchanter looks baffled. You sigh inwardly and try again.
Leave. If you come back, then you will get it.
The enchanter nods frantically, as much as he can without cutting his own neck on your sword edge. He gestures quickly with his hands.
Oh my god.
You notice that some writing has been engraved into the wall. You read the inscription.
In row of stones that number 6, half and a pair from left do pick. Quell then my spell, avoid the tricks.
The engraving on the wall reads,
Oh.
In row of stones that number 6, half and a pair from left do pick. Quell then my spell, avoid the tricks.
We no longer have to deal with the enchanter, but we still have to deal with the other guy, who we haven't seen at all.
You unroll the magic carpet, lay it on the ground, and sit on it. The carpet rises into the air again.
Whee!
The carpet begins to descend. You bend over and hold the emerald above the stone so that the sun's light channels through it. That's the danger in getting stoned.
Where's Amy? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Mm-hmm. Who'd have thought? Whee!
The carpet You bend over and hold the emerald above the stone so that the sun's light channels through it.
Oh, nice.
Incredible. The rock has transformed into a silver-studded bridle. You take the bridle.
I found it. And here we thought I'd never find it.
You unroll the magic carpet, lay it on the ground, and sit on it. The carpet begins to...
Yeah. I almost did. Speaking of giving up immediately, though, we're nearing the end of trivia, and this next section is really long and, like...
As you reach down to get the carpet,
involved,
it
I guess, in a way.
into thin air, without even so much as a puff of smoke.
So we're gonna save here. Here. That's gonna be the end of today's journey through King's Quest II.